So one of the things I want to kind of show you, I've kind of walked you guys through this earlier on, in this class, because I think it's very, very important for you to kind of be familiar with it. There is general information about Security Onion over here. Feel free to go there. And if you actually go online over here, this one, and you go to Security Onion, and go to Wiki, and you will see an overview of what Security Onion does, which is the full packet capture, network-based and host-based intrusion detection system, NIDS, HIDS, and powerful analysis tools. Okay? So feel free to go through this. That will give you an idea of what we're going to be dealing with a lot, in this class. Okay? So we're starting off with just the host-based only, a standalone version. We're going to go from the standalone version to look at the enterprise. We're going to look at the deployment scenario throughout the class. We're going to do the standalone. We're going to do the server sensor. Server sensor is the one where you have your server at one hand and you have the sensor across your network. Does that make any sense? In other words, you have your server centrally located and you have sensor distributed all over the place. I'll give you an example of that. Let me go back to I think I have a slide on one of my class here that I kind of like to use because I think it's kind of really good. And one of the things I'll show you here is your network layout. See, you need to know that where you put your sensor, and when I say sensor, I'm talking of your network security monitor. Where you put your sensor on the network really determine what you're going to see. You understand? So for example, this guy is browsing this site now. From here, if you enter this one now, if I put my sensor here, what is going to be the source MAC address? Let's pick up now, if you have an idea. So this guy from his laptop enter this address on his browser. You want to go to this website. What is going to be the source MAC? MAC A, right? MAC A will be the source MAC address, isn't it? What will be the destination MAC? MAC B, right? The source IP address will be this, right? And the destination address will be what? Will be this. And when it puts over here, it will be the same thing for the most part. What happened if I put my sensor here? What's going to be my MAC, source MAC address? MAC C. What's going to be my destination MAC address? Huh? Speak up, you don't have to be right. MAC D, correct. MAC D. Because MAC address does not cross router. What is going to be my source IP address? At this point, what is going to be my source IP address? Huh? Same thing. It's going to be 10.1.0.1. What's my destination? Same thing. That doesn't change. What happens if I put my sensor here? Number 4. What do I see for my MAC? MAC E will be my source MAC address. And my destination MAC is MAC F. Isn't it? What will be my source IP address? Huh? Speak up now. That will change a little bit though. Why? Because now I have a NAT here. Remember, the purpose of your NAT is to mask your source IP address to its own. So now my source IP address is going to be 67.210.12 because of this network address translation. And then my destination IP address will be this. You understand? So the location of your sensor really determines what you are capturing. You understand? I just want to quickly highlight that because it's very important for us to kind of know that. A little bit diversion on that one, but I thought, it's worth for us to bring it up as we're there, into this. So now we download your security ISO here, and again, I told you guys here, all of the stuff we're going to need is going to be here. So that's an introduction here for able to do that. Also, if you look at this one, there are going to be tools we're going to be using in this class that are already part of your security onions. Argos is one, Vmware, a whole bunch of them. Bro, now what I want you guys to do, very, very needed for you, is each of these I will open them and read about them. You understand? Read about each of the tools we're going to be reading, we're going to be using in this class, because then when we're using them, you know what they do. Bro is a network security monitor. It's a powerful network analysis framework that is much different from the typical IDS. And you will see that later on in the class. Why they're different from the typical IDS. Okay? Another one that you definitely want to make sure you don't mess with, that you want to make sure you don't ELSA. We talk about ELSA a lot. Click it as well. And kind of go ahead and read about what ELSA really does for you. Okay? We're going to use that in the class here, so you don't have to worry about that. And you got to learn a little bit. It's a log search and archive. Remember? Archive, not real time. You understand what I'm saying? You will see them. You use to index, frontend, incoming syslog. Pretty powerful stuff. Another one that you want to remember, and we're going to use a lot in this class, OSEC is another one of them. OSEC is an host-based intrusion detection. Alright? These allow me actively monitoring all aspects of Unix system, activity, file integrity, monitoring, log, and so on and so forth, root check. Somebody changed some file that you didn't change. OSEC will let you know. Very, very powerful tools. We also have them in security onions. Sigil. So another one I told you about, we're going to use it as well in the class. Read about each of these as we walk through. Don't try to, and that's correct, okay? This is also very, very powerful. We're going to definitely use Square in the class here today. I'm not sure we're going to get to Sigil, but at least Square and ELSA we're going to use in the class today. It's the web application that used to query and view event data stored in Sigil database. You know what I'm saying? Remember that Sigil database is real time. Hello? Sigil database is real time. We use Square to query and view the event that is stored in this Sigil database. Typically, they are IDS allowed. So visual tools. So feel free to mess around this. Now, hardware requirement. You definitely will need to use about 3 gig of RAM. Remember we're going to set up our sensors over here. CPU, one CPU is kind of really enough. A very low bulk power estimate will be 200 megabytes per snot instance. So again, one CPU is going to be okay for a sensor. A RAM, on the other hand, because of our engine, they consume quite a amount of memory. So the bare minimum, about 3 gig. If you're deploying this in a production environment, you should plan about 8 gig or more. Again, more is always better. What happens if you do not follow that rule? Your sensor is going to start dropping packet. You understand? That's what's going to happen. So the funny thing about this thing is, if you go cheap, you go home, or you go broke, as a matter of fact. The reason is because your sensor is just going to stop dropping packets, so you're going to think you're recording everything. Imagine you're recording a game, and the game only recorded like 20% or 30% of the game. That'd be really fun to watch, right? No, because you're going to lose a lot of valuable data. Alright, so remember that. Then storage, again, that's a function of how far you want to go back. Sensor have full packet capture, and also enable need loss of storage. For example, suppose you are monitoring a link that average 50 megabytes per second. Here's your quick calculation. So this is how to get per second, which is going to be 6.2 megabyte. So this is megabit. This megabyte per second. You're going to need 375 megabytes per minute. In an hour, you're going to need 22,000 megabytes. In a day, you're going to need this 540,000 megabytes per day. You understand? What I'm going to ask you guys to do is, before the end of this class, set this thing up at home. It's really, really fun. Okay? So that can give you an idea of what we're going to need. I already told you we're going to use 2 network cards for this. So packet, you need some ways of getting packet into your sensor interface. So if you're, because for the first part of this class we're just evaluating, you can just replay pickups, and that's what we're going to do. Okay? There's a lot of places where you could get a bunch of network packet, and I can run you through some of them a little bit later. Enterprise solution of what I've just showed you. Gigamon is a company that does this. They sell device. You understand? Remember that Security Onion is open source that does what these guys are also doing. You understand? There's another one over here, I believe. Garan. There's several companies over here that you can look up on their website. Again, the solution is pretty much the same thing, only that now this is commercialized, not open source. Any question? All right, let's get to it. So, starting from here, we're using Security Onion 14.04.5. So you can download it. If you download it from the website, you have the right version. For the first part of this class, we're going to be using this. Remember, subsequently in the class later, we're going to delete this and reinstall another one that's going to be for production. But for here, we're going to go with this one. We've gone through hardware requirement, release page. It's also good for you to kind of go over that, kind of see what you might see. If there's any issues, So it's good for you to kind of read that on your own. Download Security Onion, and then from here forward, we're just going to go ahead and start the installation. Okay? And we can walk through this as we go. So I'm going to start up my box here. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go here. And I have this one. I'm going to point it to my Security Onion. This is 0.3, this is 0.5, so I'm going to go for this. Go to next. It's going to be Linux. It's Ubuntu 64-bit. Go next. And here, I'm going to call this one, let's call this one CVF 2203, right? This class is 2203, right? Correct? Alright, so let's call this one 2203. Go to next here. One person is enough. I have some memory to spare, so I'm going to give this guy 4 gig. Going to select NAT. Going to accept the default. And I'm just going to make this single disk. Remember, I told you I need 2 network cards, remember? So come over here and add the network card, and I'm going to put that network card on host only. Because if you put it on your NAT can link out of your virtual machine. So close, go to finish, and at this point, I'm going to start my installation. So you have this, you can just let it count down and it's just going to go straight there yourself. And remember, you can always, flip back to check, what you have, your notes here that you have here. It's going to be very important as we do this. I'm trying to. Alright, so here is what I have here. Going to minimize this a little bit, get it down. And here I'm just going to select English, continue, and then go to continue. So don't install update and don't install third-party software. You have at least this one, so it's green, this is green. Go to net, continue. You want to make sure you select this option to erase, the disk, but also select the logical volume manager. The reason you want to install the logical volume manager is to allow you flexibility in the future. So say you want to expand the size of your hard drive. You understand? You're running out of disk space. This is a good idea for you. All right? You're allowed to be able to logically expand because the size of your hard drive is not tied up to the physical size of your disk. You understand? So it allows you to, add more physical disk to your disk and then expand it logically as you go on later. So it's going to give you this. You're going to say continue. So you read it through. Then in Chicago, you can always change it later if you have any question with that. And if you have this, just move this thing, switch it back to the edge over here. And that's one of the things I want to kind of quickly show you. I had this issue when I was trying to do this installation. You can just move it to the side like this. See that? All right. So just say continue. And here is where I want to do my installation. I can call it Israel, and I can call this one, what do we call this one? Let's call it Century. Really? Alright, whatever. So let's call this, what do you call it? Let's call it Orange. What's going on? Alright, what else? Let's call it green. But then I'll forget green because I don't know, it doesn't make any meaning to me. Okay, let's do this. We're going to call it cyber. That should be good. So my username is Israel, okay? And my password, I'm going to set it. Okay? require me to log on. Go to next here, continue. And it's going to copy some file. Again, keep your eye on the installation requirement here. So I've downloaded, I've put the installation option, and I said if prompted with an encrypted or whatever, do not. So we decided not to do that. And then we decided not to enable automatic update. We set up our username and everything. It tells us we have internet option. Normally, you can always select install update here, and to select to run update, just run sudo sup. Okay? Sudo sup simply means security onion update. You understand? It's a good idea to run sup because sometimes they do have some valuable updates. If it's new, then you can leave it alone and then go to the next slide. So this is continuing right now. We have a couple of ways to go. And once you do that, you'll come back here. And one of the things we're going to do later on is to start configuring our network interface, and then also come and configure our management interface. Any questions so far? So now it tells me installation is complete. I need to restart. So then here I press enter, and then it loads up this. You can also press enter if you don't want to wait. Now I call my username Israel, and my password is capital PSSW0. I'll do one. So now I have my stuff here. Now if you're doing this on your machine, part of the stuff you're going to run into is you're going to realize that certain things may not fit well. You might want to adjust this to 1024 768. Understand? And then keep this configuration. Okay? That gives you better real estate on your machine. Alright? Also, if you type this sudo soup, it's going to prompt into my password. And if I have any, and one of the things you want to do, you can actually read it, because it's going to tell you this will automatically install our available update and remove what kind of blah blah blah. If MySQL are available, it will stop send software to ensure starting clean update at the end of the script. MySQL letter will be, update will be installed. You'll be prompted to reboot. Press enter, and it's going to check for update. If it's a newer stuff that you have, it's not going to see any update. But if there is any, then it's going to just run the update that you have available. So remember, run the update. Because they often have a lot of update available for days. Again, remember, the only thing you have to do for the update is to run the soup. Huh? Run it through GUI? I'm running through my command line interface. Just type sudo soup. Yeah. Okay. So it take a couple of minutes, and hopefully you'll be done. After that, you restart your machine. You know, some of these things would have taken you months sometimes to do it. You know, before, if you were kind of like putting all this together on your own, again, run into weeks. I had actually put just a fraction of this together on my own. I think that was 2015. Took me weeks to do it. So what you see being done here that is looking so fast and everything is something that would have taken you, honestly, it would have taken you months to configure it and get everything to work the way it's supposed to work. So another thing that I also like to do, you may not have it here, is I sometimes like to have open another tab here while that one is going. I like to be able to do something like this. Copy something like this. and then be able to come here and paste it like this, right? But you see that this is not working, right? And I will tell you how to resolve that problem later. So it said all of these have been installed. Press enter to reboot. I don't want to reboot yet. Here's something I want to quickly do as well. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'll try. You need to install your Vmware Tools. A lot of the time I have a lot of commands that I like to copy and just post them, copy and paste them, copy and paste them. And sometimes without Vmware Tools they don't work. Now this is only for VMware. Remember, when you're actually deploying this on a real appliance, may not be the case. And one of the things I tried to do was, I'll show you here. So I've connected, I've gone over here to say, install my VMware Tools. Then I will have to come over here and go, because it's going to be, I believe, it's going to be under my media. And I think Israel, if I don't have anything here, let me go over here to see. I'm not sure it's still wrong. Actually, no, it's not going to be here. Go right here. Media. I want to make sure I get my directory correctly. 1 second here. Now, one thing you have to remember is if you do not mount it correctly, you will run into a situation where you won't be able to copy anything, really. And that's the most difficult part of my experience. So you have to make sure you actually mount it properly. Let me go and take a look at my CD-ROM here. I'm going to try and move this up a little bit because I want the video recording to actually capture that. All right. Now, show you one easy way to find out the path of your file. So come here, and I can look for my VMware Tools, and I can see where it is. It's under /media, right? So, all right. So if I go over here, and I can see it over here. See that? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to my home directory, which is still there. So I'm going to expand. There's a tab file inside that place, and I'm going to give it xvzf option. Then I'm going to specify the location of this file. Okay. Can actually do something real quick here. Another tab. I want to find out what is in there. And this is the file I'm looking after, so I'm going to go back here. Okay, and that's the file. So what I'm doing over here is I'm saying extract this complex file on my own page, on my home directory. Alright, so extract this file on my home directory, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now, so if I go back to my home directory, now I have this directory that has been extracted. So I can go back here, and then I can go ahead and fire it up. Okay, I can do this. It's going to say access denied, so I'm going to have to use my sudo account, bang bang, and it's going to ask me for password. So it asks me there's a legacy study I want to continue, blah blah, and I can say yes. Alright, so it said this one are available from OS vendor. Don't recommend using this tool. See this one, I tried it, didn't work. So I say yes, I want to go ahead and install what I want to do, and I'm going to do this, and I'm simply just going to go for the default and have VMware Tools be installed. So alright, so this is done now. So then I can come back here, and this guy earlier asked if I want to press enter to reboot, and I'll try and reboot. I can press enter. So Israel, up to PR, W0RD. I need to quickly test something, and what I need to test is, can I copy and paste? That's the key for me. You might have to reinstall this thing a couple times if there are conflicting drivers there. So I'm going to try and see if this works, and see now it works. See that? You got it? So it makes your life a lot easier. I can easily copy and paste command from outside, especially with the command that I'm posting on D2L. This becomes very handy. So now the next thing we're going to do is to select setup. Okay, so I'm going to type my password, click OK, and it's going to say, welcome to Security Onion. This one will allow you to set up my, configure my Security Onion on cyber, which is my machine, and say yes, continue. Now it's going to ask me that I want to configure the interface. I'm going to say yes, and by default, I want to use the first one as my management. Okay. This is what I'm going to use to log in, to control, to remote, to do all that kind of stuff into this. So I click this. Remember, we have two. We're going to use this one to monitor. We're going to use this one for management. Everybody get that? So go to OK. You know, in a production environment, you want to use static. Okay? But for us, we're just using, practice right now. So we're going to select DHCP. And go to OK, and it's going to tell you, will you like to configure sniffing monitor? And I'm going to say yes. And since I've already used the first one for management, I only got one left, so I'll click OK. And it's going to say we're about to do the following: backup existing network configuration, configure this, blah blah. And I'm going to say yes, make the changes. And it's going to say, do you want to reboot? I'm going to say yes, reboot. And then it's going to go on to reboot. And you can either leave it and let it count down to 0 and then put you in there, or you could just press enter and it will take you right in there. I'm minimizing it so I can be able to record the screen. So press Israel. So here we have this. So we've done the interface now, and I go back here again. Second round. Now here, I'm here now again now to configure the application. So click OK. Now it's going to say welcome to blah blah. We allow you to configure this blah blah. I want to continue. I'm going to say yes. And now it's telling me it looks like these had already been configured by the script. Yeah. Would you like to skip the network configuration? Yes, I want to skip the network configuration. You understand? So I'm not trying to redo it. Now it's going to ask me a question now. Do I want to do this in evaluation mode or production mode? I've told you guys, for now we're going to do evaluation mode. Later in the class, when we get our leg under us, we're going to be going for production mode. Alright? So select production mode. Okay? And they tell you evaluation mode is recommended for first time user. ID for quickly evaluate security automatic configure most of the details, blah blah. So I'm going to go to OK. And then it's going to which network interface should you be monitored. Remember we said Ethernet 1, right? So OK here. Then select, would you like to create a username? These are the application Signal. I've talked about Signal, live, real-time monitoring. I like to call it admin, so I can just know a little bit different from the other username account that I already have. Say OK. Then it's asking me, would you like to set a password? And I'm just going to call it P at SLW0RD. Okay. P at SLW0RD. Okay. It's going to ask you about the following changes, set OS time zone. So you just see delete any existing network security monitor, blah blah. Run a single IDS process by interface. Run a single broad process by interface. Configure ELSA as a log node and enable web interface. You're going to say yes. Go ahead and make the changes. You can see icon of Sigrill, Squared, Explico, ELSA already on the home page. And I'm going to say OK. So your schedule is now complete. It's telling me where the log files is. OK. Security unknown setup log. Where VRDS allowed using Sigrill, Squared, or ELSA if enabled. Broad logs can be found in ELSA if enabled. Click OK. Click OK. All these things have been automatically configured for you. Like I tell you before, this can take you a long time to set it up on your own if you didn't know how to do that. So it's really powerful stuff that is being done automatically for you. So again, if you want to look at your sensor, your local roles are located here. Sometimes you might probably want to copy this out. Why? Because you might need it later. I'm not saying you are going to need it now, but maybe you will need it later. And if you do that, you just drop this over here. So now you know where your locations are. You understand? Later, if you need it, you know where to go. So this is your Ubuntu firewall has been locked down. So only port 22 is going to run. Okay? If you want to run another port, you're going to have to run sudo so allow, security on iPhone allow. There's wiki and so on and so forth. I think you are home sweet home. Any questions so far? So what we have done now is we have installed Security Onion, we have configured the interface, and then we've configured the application.
You're using a bridge for that.
I use NAT, I don't want to use bridge, you know, because if you use bridge, your IP address is going to be changing as you move from home to classroom, from whatever. But if you use NAT, your IP address does not change as you move from classroom to home. You understand what I'm saying? So I kind of like to use NAT if I can, because it allows you to have consistency across. So then, any questions so far? Questions? So you see what we've done. So we've done most of what we needed to do. Over here, you know where the interface are located. If I go back to our lab objective for the class, we will install this one, configure this one. We can verify the services are running. And I put the command here for you guys, because I know some of you might want to know it. Here are the command. Use the command. Verifying services are running. If you just type sudo. So now you see why it's a very cool stuff to have ability to copy and paste. You understand what I'm saying? So if you couldn't copy and paste, now I can paste the command to see the status. And when I do that, type my password, have to be at SSW0RD, and it shows you everything we have right here. You see all this okay, green. If you see anything other than green, something is wrong. Sudo service NSM status. I'll give you this. Here's a SQL server, which is kind of the heart, you know, of our Security Onion. From here, we could see what is going on, right? So this is a live real-time monitoring. And this is host-based intrusion detection, OSEC agent, that is also being, you know, parsed or report into SQL server, all right? And then status of our bro is a standalone bro. It's a local host base. And then we have our monitor. Remember, our monitor interface is on Ethernet 1. Remember? So you can see what we have over there. We are net sniff ng full packet data capture, pcap agent, that's SIGRIL, snort agent, SIGRIL, snort alert for data, and Barnyard, you know, to unify the format. You know, one other thing I'll show you here, and this is I believe on to go to architecture here, this kind of really show you how everything here is connected. Okay, that's a data flow data flow diagram. So if you click it, you can even expand it even further. You can see this is our SIGRIL here. All right, so you could see how we have to interface here. This is your sniffing interface management. This is your management interface. And as you can see, that's PF ring. It's create a buffer traffic. This one go to netsniff ng. That serves the sensor data for interface for all the logs. And then you have the snort and suricator being served here. And this is your bro sensor, serving your bro logs, and your sensor data interface over here. And you can see how everything really maps all the way down. This is your ELSA. ELSA is able to access the database for SIGRIL. If you remember what I told you guys earlier on, because ELSA eventually is able to pivot, because all these sensors that you have over here, they all go through this pair into your Signal database. And from Signal database, they're stored over here. That's the database. You can insert query here if you want. That's your Signal. That's the database that feeds it. That's my ELSA API. This is where I query my ELSA. This is the web ELSA interface. This is what ELSA interface looks like. And you can see ELSA itself is benefiting from Signal database. It's my Signal here. It's my Signal interface here. This is CapMe. CapMe, everything is funneling through Signal database. So you can see how Signal resides at the center of everything here. Request for pickup. So if I see a network packet and I want to download the pickup, I can request for it using CapMe, and I will grab it. I can log on to my Signal database by coming over here, blah, blah. Once I do that, here's my interface. Here's the master database for Signal. Here's the interface for ELSA. Here is the API for ELSA. And you can see how they all interface together. There's the OSEC. OSEC is host-based, okay? Agent communication on the host. So because OSEC is host-based and it's got agent, in other words, you need to have agent on the host machine that you want to monitor. You understand? And then that is recorded across to the database for the OSEC, and that is parsed also. You can see here. So OSEC eventually get parsed, and ultimately they all make it down into your Signal. You can see OSEC agent here. OSEC passing it down to Signal database. All this one pickup agent, Bandyard, Snort, Bro. As you can see, your Bro sensor comes over here, feeds this guy, and invariably they all still comes down and make it down here to this place, Signal database. Any question? This is to just kind of give you an overview of how this is all connected together. Question at this point?
Yes, I'm going to do something wrong here and see. Does this look okay?
Yeah, it looks alright.
It doesn't want to start. So let's power up. And then it just gives me a black screen and nothing happens. Now I'll do that.
It's working.
Yeah, everything's slow.
Let's press enter or just wait. Just wait.
And it starts installing security and that should appear.
If you've installed it, this is just this is the final store that I know I've gone through over this, and I'm recording this video, so I'm going to post this video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you guys can take a power break for 3 minutes. There's a water outside, so the water there is free. Feel free to drink up as much as you want. Don't have to worry about paying. I took care of that. There's water pumping outside. So I made sure that everybody can start their charge for drinking as many water as one person get. So this is just in space is effective. Thanks as well. For sure. So I think my phone back for that. That's it. Yeah. Got it. Go. I'm calling
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm going to record as much as I can for the class here. If the first one is good, then I'll record the rest as well. You know, this is kind of
This is the that you wanted to propose.
So that's one thing that you could do that will definitely kind of, you know, help you out, especially if you're trying to, you know, get a few things done. So one of the other stuff, so once you know that this one is working fine for you, the other stuff that you could do over here, I'm going to minimize this one, is I can come over here to I'm going to try and squirt here. So start my squirt. And I'm going to go to advanced. Proceed. And now it's time for me now to enter admin. That's the username that I set up for it. Capital PSW0RD. And now I have this. So remember now, this is my squirt log on to, and I can see a couple of stuff there right away. You can take a look at this, and you can see the queue. And one of the things you see over here, this one is 1, this is 1, this is 60. What this really does for you is to show you that these are 60 types of this log. So you know, instead of having 60 logs that are the same thing, what Squirt does is to aggregate those logs for you. So if I click this now, you can see I have 60 here, and I can click this 60, and you can see that I have 60 of these here. You understand? But because they are the same log, it just aggregated for me. And you can look at what generate them. They're generated by sec, that's host base, attrition. Okay? And what happened? Integrity checksum change. I can look a little bit more deeper into that by clicking the first one here. And I can look at what actually changed. Give me some details. Size change for this, which is not very uncommon. You can see when I click it, you can search for it. You can use Bing. You can use Google. You understand? To search for that kind of file. If I think, oh, this is normal, I can select it. Okay? If I select it, I can then go over to this side and say no action is required. And you can see the keyboard shortcut is F8. So if I say this, you can see now it's a NA, right? And now the number is decreased to what? 59. You understand? I can go on further and look at other stuff. You can select this, and I can look at this. Look at the files that changed. Code port, configuration files that they've changed. The size is changed of 25, and this is normal, especially after you just done an installation. You run a lot of updates, a lot of these system files are going to change. So if I don't want to press this, I can just press F8. Okay, and it's going to take care of it. And now I have 58. I can pick some other more random one. And you can see these are all configuration files that got changed because of the updates that I run. Okay, I can select everything, however, and I can just press F8. and they're all gone. You understand? Now those are files that I consider in my own view to be okay. Now look at this. It says new group added to the system. This is important, right? On your server, you want to know anytime somebody adds a new group, because that's how the bad guy moves laterally. So I'll come over here and I can look at it. Remember, because this is host based and it's not on a different network, that's why it's pointing 00000. If I select this, I can get further information about it, and it says security onion group name was created. See that? That's what I did. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry about this. I can come back here and press F8, and that's gone. You understand? I can click this one as well and select this, and I open this up, and this is another, this is more for troubleshooting purposes, or just monitoring the health of your sensor. If you look at it, receive 0 packet in designated time interval. Why is this important? Because in a production environment, you wouldn't have a sensor. You expect a steady stream of packet through your sensor. This rule will help you to know if one of your sensors is broken down or there's a problem. Because if you have 0 packet in as many minutes, then you would be able to essentially go to your sensor and then check it to make sure that it's not down, because you shouldn't go for a period of time without having any packet at all. So I know this is okay, and I can either leave it, wrap it up, convert it to something else, but that's really how this works. And you can see for yourself, the way this works. I can change it, convert it, and kind of like, move on, to something else. So this is how these generally, will work. I added some stuff over here. I'm gonna minimize this. So there's another stuff over here that I put over here for you guys. And what I did over here was to set up the ability to kind of be able to replay an attack. So I'll show you something real quick here. So I open a new tab here. And before I go even further into that, I want to show you what I have here inside this place. So you can see I've got a bunch of pickups here, okay, ready to roll around. And one of the things that I can do is I can go over here and type this, Let me see what is that. Sorry, city. So I've got a bunch of files here. And there's this uninit file, suspicious prime pickup, that we're going to analyze. Alright? So if I go back to my command again, so I'm going to go back here because I want to make sure this one works, and I'm going to use a star, okay, because I'm targeting this particular file, the uninit here, okay. So what this command does is to replay on my monitoring card, remember, and I'm saying slow it down. That's what that. If you want to see the full option, you can type TCP replay. You can type TCP replay -h. I think you can see what options you have there, and you can see replay packet at a given megabit per second. You understand? So what this actually does is to slow this thing down a little bit. So by saying 10 here, I'm saying 10 megabits per second. Otherwise, TCP replay is going to go so fast. Alright? So here we are. So I'm pseudo replaying it now. Again, I'm simulating what will have happened when this thing is over the wire. Alright? So press enter, up to PR SLW0RD, and then it replayed this in 0.40 seconds, not even up to a second. And it says 745 packet has been played out, attempted, 75 words, successful. You understand? So minimize this. So one of the things you see and a lot of the time I just refresh my stuff and then you can see that because I play that packet, I'm seeing a bunch of other stuff. Remember that this thing is capturing it, you know, this is my script. So let's take a look at it. One of the first things that I see here is that of this OSEC, and I've shown you guys how this works earlier. And I told you this is not a big deal, right? Remember that? So I'm going to press F8. And then I have another one here. And this one said there's a fake Firefox. One other thing you could look at over here is to look at the rules that fired this alert. You understand? So if you take a look at it, you can see the alert, and hopefully sometimes, you know, maybe next week I will try to give you guys a quick review of snort rules. I don't know if you guys are familiar with snort rules. Very familiar with it. Okay, that's fine. I'll walk you guys through a quick, very rules for snort rules. How snort rules are written, they are very, very similar to suricata, very, very similar. Again, if you're wondering what is this jargon that Israel is talking about, remember what I told you guys here about the side that I need you guys to go and play with, right? Come over here. Right? And go to Tools. You understand? For example, if you're wondering what is bro, this is bro. If you're wondering what is snort, that's snort. Okay? And they are, for the most part, an open source for, actually there's another one for source. Snort should be on its own, separate. Should have snort. Yeah, there's snort. It's an open source network intrusion prevention system developed by Sourcefire. You understand? How is he doing it? He's using signature, protocol, and anomaly-based inspection to determine what is bad or what is not good. Or what is not good. You understand? What is bad or what is good. So, again, you're wondering what about Square that we talked about? Here is it. It's a web-based application that is used to query and view data source in SQL. You understand what I'm saying? So what we have started right over here is our script. That's what we've been working on. And you know it's taking this data from SQL database. So go back often, every now and then, to make sure that you know where this is coming from. This is script, but it's grabbing this data from SQL. Okay? There's another one here. So here's my snort rule. How did we get this snort rule? We get this snort rule when we ran the script. When we were configuring this machine earlier on, remember? After we configured the interface, the next thing we configured was to configure the application. Part of the applications we have over here are the list of all those tools. You want to see, when we go to tools, that shows you all the tools that are installed inside Spirit Running. You understand what I'm saying? And one of them is, snort rules. Also imagine threat. Imagine threat is an organization which is non-profit. I don't think they are non-profit anymore. But what they do is they generate rules. Okay? As threat emerge in the industry, what they do is to generate to generate rules to detect those threats. So various organizations will subscribe to them, actually I use them 2014 to subscribe to them, then we get to download all these rules and then apply it. So for example, if they say there's another vulnerability or exploit that's out there that is doing X, Y, Z, this is how the bad guys are doing it, they will write rules to catch those bad guys. And for you as a company, you subscribe to them, you can download those rules, and then you can deploy those rules in your environment. Generally, you deploy it on your sensor. Right? So now, the sensor downloads the rules, and then the sensor inspects every packet they see against the rules. And if it matches, then you create an alert. You understand? You want to be careful to make sure that the rules you are generating, you are building up, are not too expensive, because they can slow down your sensor a lot. So it's not just having every rule, you just kind of throw it out there. You can kill your sensor by just having a very bad rules that is showing up all your sensors. Now all of a sudden, your sensors are dropping packets because they're busy trying to process this code. You understand? So let's take a look at it. So you're saying create an alert, a TCP base using the TCP protocol. Looking at the TCP protocol, create an alert that is going to my own network. Okay? This variable here, $home_net, is a variable name to denote anything that is classified as your home network. You understand? anything that is classified as your home network, that is what you use it. From my home network to any port, going to anything external, and generally anything that is not home network is considered external. Alright? So you have alert me on any TCP traffic coming from my home network, coming from any port on my home network to any external address on HTTP port. Okay, the title of the message should be, this is cosmetics, fake Firefox, blah, blah, blah. That's what you're going to see on your dashboard. You're saying the flow should be to the server. It should be coming from a client to the server. It should be heading towards port 80 or port 8080, whatever your HTTP port really is. The traffic must be established. The content must have Firefox /0. The header must be fast. It's going to have HTTP header. Okay? It's got to have HTTP header. In other words, it's going to be HTTP traffic. The fast pattern only. In other words, match this one. If this one matches, don't even try to look at this regular expression. So this what you see PCRE here, that's a Perl script regular expression. RE stands for regular expression, P stands for Perl. Okay? So that's what this one really means. Look at this one. They put Firefox 0 here, and then they put Firefox 0 here. Why are they doing that? This one is a very simple match. In other words, if you find Firefox, don't process this regular expression. Why? Regular expression is more complex and allows you to really slice and dice. It's like going for the needle in a haystack, but it's also very expensive in terms of your processor time. So what you're doing over here is that, you know what, even if you just see Firefox 0, just mash it. And if you mash it, don't bother to even process this regular expression. You understand? What you're trying to do is you're trying to save your processor. So that's what this one does. And type limit, track source, count 2, second 60, that's 60 time apart. Now they put the policy name, the policy violation, and then the name of this rule, SID blah blah. That is the rule that fires. Anybody see that? That is the rule that fires here now. And it's saying, we're going to look at it now. So that's the source of the IP address. That's the destination where it is going. I can expand it a little bit further. And now I can see it over here. This is the event ID. Alright. So now I have my event ID. I have my source 10.05.15. Here is the port, and it's port that's heading to. You can see it matches now. The rule matches, and you can see Firefox, blah 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 blah. That's really what you get here. If you click your event ID, if you go over and click the event ID, what you're going to have, I think this my stuff is timeout. So now, so you can see I'm going to cap me now. And I'm going to wait here for a minute because I want to show you something real quick before I go over here. Because when I click this event tagging, you know what I'm trying to do now? I'm trying to see, because look at this one, when I select this, I'm able to go down here to see the header information. You understand? Saying get HTTP user Mozilla, and I can see Firefox 0. Right? And I'm able to go down here and see the command that was executed. I can see Firefox. Where is it again? I can see Firefox here. Right? I can see the host, the website is exploitme.com, but I don't have access to the full packet. But I can get the full packet simply by highlighting, by clicking this. And that's what I did earlier on, and it took me here. Now I can come over and tap the same user account I was set up earlier on and click submit. And now I have the full packet. See that? Now I have the full packet of what happened. Here is the source. Type in this. It's a PHP user agent. It's Mozilla. And I can see the host, exploitme.com.cn. And it responded back, decided to respond back by OK. And if you look at it, everything looks okay. This is the header. Then they come back and say 404 not found, as if the type is not found. And this might have deceived somebody and say, oh, the website doesn't have anything. But if you look down here, you actually realize that it actually go ahead and process it. Right? It went ahead and processed it. And then you can see that this thing is actually encrypted because you can see crypt. See that? That the packet is encrypted, so they don't want to see what's going on. Here's a key string. Here's a decode function. You can see that you're not going to see a lot of stuff here. Input, replace. These are character to strings. So a lot of the stuff over here, see, character to string, that means they've encrypted a lot of these things. Obfuscate function. You see that? So a lot of this thing has been obfuscated, which means there's something bad here going on. You understand what I'm saying? So you can look at it and say, I think we definitely do have, some problem here. Here's your raw data. One thing you can do, however, you can actually go ahead and download the PCAP. So I can click over here. I hope I have this right. It's my PCAP. Okay. I can look at this. And one of the things you can also do, you can go over here and go to export object and go to HTTP. And here is the file itself. And from here, I can actually download the file unencrypted. You can go to save as. And from here, I will have downloaded the file unencrypted. You understand? Because at the application layer level, the file is not going to be encrypted. Any questions? So you could see how at this early stage, I was able to pivot starting from square, analyzing those data, downloading the full PCAP over here, seeing the full PCAP, analyzing it and seeing something weird is going on here, downloading this one from Wireshark, extracting the actual payload. Let's look at, that's not the only one here we have. You can also look at the other ones here. Windows file. You can see this one say ET-info-exe served inline. 45 of that. And this one has about 5. Well, before I go jump on the second one, I'm going to give you guys a 5 minutes bio break. Let's take 5 minutes break. review some of the stuff we've done in class. So now you see how we pivot back over here, and from there we're able to actually, you know, we're able to kind of like we pivot by clicking this event, and you can see when you mouse over it, it takes to cap me. And when you cap me, we're able to kind of like see the full packet length to see what happened, and we're able to use this one to download the pickup, use Wireshark. Nice, life is easy. But we can also do one thing. I can now pivot. So I come over here, I can click this. That is the source IP. Okay. And this kind of show you a lot of stuff that you can actually do. So, sorry. By clicking this one over here, we can actually use it to pivot into elsewhere if we want. See what I'm saying? Hello? So there are options. Once you click the IP address, you can Google it. You can go to malware domain list to see if that IP address is on the block list. You can go to safe browsing. You can say the virus auto, Zeus tracker. But a place we can also go is elsewhere. And on the elsewhere here, I type my password again, admin, capital P at SAW0RD. And by doing that, that takes me over here. Okay? And one thing with Elsa is I have such a nice view in terms of what I can accomplish. I'm going to maximize this screen for just one quick second. One of the things you get with Elsa is then I can actually begin to browse this thing to figure out what kind of interface I have on it, what kind of stuff I have. So this is being grouped now by just about almost nothing. I can go back here and look for what else can I browse as far as this thing is concerned, or what other additional features, you know, can I get from here. Because when you click, and I'll show you something here now, 1 second here. I'm gonna close this one and let's see if I can do one more thing with Elsa before I'm going to show you something real quick. One thing I want to pull out, you know, with Elsa is the relationship that this thing may have with other systems that I have on capture. So, 1 minute over here, I'm going to look for all the programs that I have. So, look at this now. I have a bunch of programs here that I can expand this thing on. I can use for broken, source IP, and so on and so forth. Look at DNS. There's a lot of programs that I can check. And I can submit all sort of queries with this one. And if there's any match with this, normally it will show you. And I can actually click this one out and go to this one because I've started from a day like this. Let me see what days I can go back on to. I don't know if I have anything that will match this one. 1 second here. Looking to see if I can get something that will be interesting for us to review on this one. On here. Coming here, grouping by program. Nothing else as interesting over here. I'm going to go back up here and look at other findings that we have here. I'm going to click this one. I'm going to show you something if I can find something that is interesting with Elsa. See if I can find something with Elser. See what I have my last year. It's not as great as I would love it to be. Yeah, you should be able to find something much more than that. Yeah, so there's not a lot of logs in my Elser. Let me restart my Elser because I'm not finding logs in my Elser here. Because the reason I'm not finding anything is here that it doesn't seem like Elser is getting any logs, like a 0 and 0 log index. Do you guys look at your Elser file? Do you have any 0 to 0 log in your Elser file? Start your Elser and see if you have 0 logs there. You have the same thing there too? Yeah, that's exactly the reason why we're having here's what I'm going to do. I want to make sure Elser is actually grabbing file from. I'm going to restart my machine just for the heck of it. That doesn't mean it's going to do anything. Let's let me quickly show you some of these tips here. I put it right on the D2L. Some of the command that I put over there. I want to see, if you want to see your firewall, and this definitely is not a firewall issue. You can see that I only have a port 22 open on my firewall. Let's go ahead and restart my machine here. I'm going to write sudo reboot. I know you don't have to. I really don't. I shouldn't have to do that. Let me look at my other virtual box here. So I can run my status here. This is an old security onion file that I have. Just want to make sure, so I don't even have any bro. Let me see what I've got here. You will notice that I did something not too smart here, and I wouldn't recommend it for you guys to do it. I use a 2 network card, right? You're going to start dropping packet. Generally, you want to have, unless you're load balancing this 2 network interface card per sensor, ideally you don't need to go that route. Just 1 network card is way more than enough. So just so you know, don't do that in case you're doing your own. Just one network card is way more than sufficient. I'm just testing something here. In the meantime, let me pause my recording to start resuming this one. And because I'm installing this one, recording it, so I'm going to go back to my square to show you. Here's the firewall we talk about. So when we look at it, we're like, oh, this thing actually has a problem, right? But in order for us to see the full packet, there are a few things that we have to do. To see that, we have to click the event ID. The event ID will generate the transcript. And that is cap.me. You understand? So, in order for us to pivot to elsewhere, what I need to do is to put the source IP or the destination IP. When I did that, I have elsewhere here. When I click it, it brings me down here. Now you can see now I'm having more correlation.
Okay, I'm going more correlation with this particular idea. I'm saying it's both remember the diagram processor, LMA, one of the useful tool that is installed inside, third one. Raw network sensor is one of the important tools. And what raw network sensor does is allow you to pass other laws, your DNS law, your active directory law, your network law, your HTTP law, your SNMP law, and correlate them together against the given IP. So for example, I have seen that 10% of the time of something is happening, right? There is this line that is using a big, Firefox user agent to connect to my machine, my server, and I want to know how to get it. What is discovered with this machine? Is there a host on my network that is already using a big browser? Now, I'm not familiar with this. If you want to really sit down into this, you can go online and search for user browser. Okay, user agent. Sorry. You're going to see user agent for all the browsers, for Internet Explorer, for Firefox, for all kinds of stuff, for Chrome. Those are the legitimate browsers. But bad guys also use a fake browser. They modify it to hide their identity. And you can generally tell that something is not good with the user agent is fake. That was why that rule was created. That rule essentially is trying to have all the well-known user agents. Right? Or for example, you can look for user agent for the last 10 years. And if anybody uses user agent that is older than 10 years, you can apply it now for the people to use it. You understand? Because I think this person has actually done the system in the last 10 years. More like it's taking further. So that's what this one is done. So then I entered this 10 this IP address and I said, look here my programs. Role sensor, one thing role sensor is very good at is having program. DNS is a program. It's a program. HTTP is a program. Power connection part is a program. You know what I'm saying? UDP is a program. All those applications that you have, all those services, they are classified as programs. You understand? They are the protocols, but they sound it right. So everything is the protocol that sounds it for everything. That's right. Well, DNS, something the DNS server, right? HTTP, something the web server. So this protocol are also linked to particular, service. So now I can say, I'm moving it now by movement. I can move that everything. So all of what I do by program is telling me there's low connection. Low connection, look for established connection between the given IP address and another 10 here, 10 times. HTTP, that's what Go HTTP. All this one is doing. See, the Go sensor doesn't just look at packet. Go sensor looks at packet, then inspect the payload, inspect the protocol, and then interpret it. So it's going to say, oh, it's a packet not going to create, look at the error interpretation. Packet. This one is everything to the tracing packet. You look at the error, you look at the port. So you doesn't just look at the port, you look at the error. So, oh, this one, you are a TNS traffic. This one, you are basically traffic. This one, you're taking what is expecting inside the payload. You know what I'm saying? It's a very hard network session. That you can see that we're putting all these several tools in one big back bucket for us to analyze what it is that we're looking for. Because when somebody tells me we have this IP address that is using the browser, yes, that's fine. That's what SQL got me. And I use Square to pass what I'm getting from that guy, right? Based on the rule. Right? Because Square has the rule. The rule that we have on Square is that if you say anybody using fake browser, create an alert. I get my alert, I'm looking at my alert, looking at the payload, looking at the traffic, get and whatever I'm expecting, I can download the pickup itself. But that's just in one payload that I'm looking at. How do I get a bigger picture? How do I know who else this machine that is potentially bad is talking to? How do I get correlations? I need correlations. I need to see who is this guy coming to my network, who is he playing with? What else is this guy doing? Otherwise, we're going to be chasing this funnel vision without actually being able to step back and say, hey, this machine that is bad or potentially bad has also made a contact with 12 other machines in my network. Yeah, remember the picture I showed you guys earlier on? With routers and whatever, you're going to have to decide what you want to monitor. What you want to monitor is going to determine where you're going to put it. Right? If I want to monitor, I put my money inside this place. Right? Then maybe I have to put the monitor or the closed circuit right over here. So I figure out here when you come in, when I come into this window, or you crawl all the way, you're going to get here. So I put my stuff. Right? It may not necessarily help me if I put it closer to the door. Right? Yeah, it's showing me somebody else coming through the hallway, but I got to come through the hallway. But then after I surrender to this guy, I'm blind. So when you put your sensor to on the network, it determines what you want. You want to try one this way. That's why the sensor card and I want the sensor to work on the network because of your microcapture in the mind. So now let's take a look at it. Okay, so profile, so row sensor is also going to look at it and say, okay, oh, this traffic has this all that comes. Broken people. Not put it out. Broken say, or the software that is market. So it's doing some deep packet inspection and allowing you to see every other aspect of this potentially bad address. This is a full end-to-end network forensic investigation. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what we hear about. So when I come over here now,
I can then say, all right, Group 10 connection, and look at this now. Now I can see that this 10 dice guy, this IP address that's malicious now, is also talking to someone else on the network. And this is, That's a look back. So I have the source IP. Here's the destination IP on port 80. You understand? And I can see this pro connection, established connection with this guy 52, and I can see how they are talking. There's a lot of stuff that I can look at in that place, and one other stuff, and you can look at this one. This is Ethernet, on this guy, this Ethernet one here. You can actually even go and grab further information if you want to. I can look for plugins, put some parameter over here, get pickup. You understand? I can get my pickup here if I want to, but I don't want to get the pickup here. So now you have a full detailed interaction of what this guy, every host that this guy has connected to. Okay? Again, we're still at the preliminary stage in this class on this one, so we're not really doing a deep stuff. You can go back over here. HTTP, that's a web server. It's got two that is talking to, and that's this guy and this guy. And you can see, in my case, I have two network cards, so I might be getting two of everything. You understand? Because I have Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2, which is why I said don't get two network cards. Go back here again. I can go to DHCP, I can go to file. This can actually be even more important, interesting. I can see this guy between this guy coming to this one, they transfer a file. This is the MD hash of that file. You see that? This is a file that they transfer between them, and it's a text file, and I can actually search for the file based on the, hash value of the file. This is the size of the file that they transfer between one another. Any question? Any questions? Again, we're not doing a deep dive right now. I'm just showing you all the possibility that we have and how powerful these tools can be. One of the stuff that a lot of people have kind of always asked in the past is, how do I know what rules we have going on? You can easily know what rules you have going on by, let me go ahead and bring this one here. Got a bunch of stuff here. So you come over here. Part of the stuff that you could do is you could edit. Remember what I told you guys earlier on the location of your files. I don't know if you remember, right? I said you can see where your rules are what? You can see where your rules are located. So you can go to Etsy. Sensors can be tuned by modifying the files in display. So for me, if my goal is to tune out or modify the rules that I'm getting, or maybe I don't like the rules that I'm getting, one of the stuff I can do is I can, pretty much, modify it. So here is it. You can go over here, say nano, and I can put it XC, NSM, okay. Let me see what I got here. my case, I got onions, and I can bread one. Okay. See, these are all the sensors that I have here. You can see my sensor. I've got ergers, but part of the ones that you care about is snot, suricata yaml. That's where most of our rules are. You understand? All this snot configuration, that's where a lot of your emerging threat rules are housed. All the rules that have been matched up, they are located sometimes inside your snot or how you define your network. So let me take a snot for example here now. Right? So now all of a sudden, I'm gonna go over here. So you can see where my network is defined. You can see here now, anytime you see $home_net, this is where I've defined what my home network is. You understand? Hello? Remember that when you were here earlier on, I don't know what it is again. Now I was showing you on the squirt here. Remember that we had gonna log in here. Remember that I have rules here, Firefox. These are rules. These are rules. These rules. Remember when I said $home_net, right? How does this thing know what is home_net? These are just variables. Those variables are defined here. This is where those variables, IP variable, my home net is where I define it. My external is this. Just say set up external network, leave as any in most situation. In other words, anything that is not this one. And you can see how I set up my DNS, server, SMTP. I listed all my variables here. You understand? You can come over here and make some modification if you don't want it. I just want to kind of really show you that so you kind of know what it is that we're doing. Any question, guys? Alrighty. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop today. I don't want you guys to say, you know what? This is not what I signed up for. I don't want somebody to blow up my brain. You know, this is not how I thought this is going to turn out. It's supposed to be a fun class, so this is mental assault. So I'm going to stop here before I run everybody out of the building. Okay? So let's just kind of go down and relax. This is just, we're going to see this to like tons of time. At some point, navigating between here and there is so easy. Today, when we use free tools, and we actually just use them just for sure. We really didn't dive in at all. But remember, we have like 14 more weeks to dive in. Because security order is not going away for us. So one of the things I try to do is to give you something that you can actually use in real world. Rather than just use something that you used in the past, and it's just concept. But you're not ready on day one to go out there and say, I have this exploit here to it. So you get it, sense? But this one, when you apply yourself to it, you know I'm getting an experience just as good as what I'm going to get outside. So I might as well just learn it.
You know what I'm saying? If you go out there and you say security and someone says, I don't know it, they're not going to be able to tell you and say, well, that's just a classroom stuff. No, it's not classroom stuff. It's an internet classroom. And anybody that's listening for some time knows, shut it down for what is happening. Okay? And someone is not teaching you right here, you put a lot of money outside to get it. Seriously. Okay? So I'm going to pause my video right now.
I'm hoping the video turns out okay.